I deplore apathy and I abhor injustice. Not as a mere spectator or a finger pointer, but as a challenger, as a contender, as an opponent. When I see a good fight, I get in it. I've always been that way. However, over the years, when adverse situations arise, I had to learn that you don't always have to meet force with force in order to get your point across. And that it's better oftentimes to meet force with finesse and intelligence. Water doesn't have to slam up against the rock to understand that it is just as powerful as a rock. When the right pressure is applied, persistently and over time, water can break down and even destroy a rock. In April of 2015, the right pressure was applied by the citizens in Baltimore. The city that I love and work was stormed by violence as a result of the death of Freddie Gray. And Freddie Gray didn't die an ordinary death. He died from severe injuries while in police custody. And the circumstances surrounding his death sent our city into turmoil. Protesters took to the streets for 2 weeks, from April 18th of 2015 through May 3rd of 2015.
And welcome everybody back to one more edition of Delta Sip, where we sip slow and talk what we know. This is my Mississippi mug.
I see the old
Magnolia. Yes, and we are in Mississippi, and you had part. You took part in all of this new flag, brother. Hold up. Let's talk about the relevance of it all.
I'm proud of that mug you got right there because I was a part of that struggle.
Yes, you were.
Yeah,
and for those who are just tuning in, I want you to tell everybody, hey, you are watching Delta Sip. Please subscribe to our channel, YouTube, Facebook, blah, 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 blah. And we again have the lawyer in the building. He's back in Mississippi. Yeah. Yeah. Listen, always up for a good fight, everybody. Hey,
that's right.
So listen, let's talk a little bit about how did you get that name?
Man, it's been several iterations, but to be honest with you, I went to a high school in Washington, D.C., and our mascot was a warrior. And so we had a reunion, and the lawyers who graduated from Woodson, we got together and took a picture. So in the picture, I think I captioned it Warrior Lawyers. But then did it, and I started using it, but not very frequently. And then in 2006, I represented the DC sniper, John Allen Muhammad, in his Maryland trial. I was his standby counsel. And he called me the Warrior Lawyer again. And so at that point, it stuck. So from 2006, it was just, that's what I did. That's who I was from that point. When he referred to me as that, because we were in a situation in the courtroom and the judge was about to hold me in contempt. It's the funniest thing because he was telling me to calm down. Yeah. John Allen Muhammad, the DC sniper, was telling me to calm down before I get thrown in jail. That's what he told me. Like, wow. You lawyer up there, like, you need to calm down. I was like, calm down, Jay.
Yeah.
So he rest in peace, because that's a whole nother story.
Yeah. Oh wow, that was that.
We had a lot of memorable events to take place during that trial, and I'll never forget.
And from what I understand, you grew close to him.
I did.
Yeah, and being that everyone needs proper or fair representation, some people may not understand why, you represented him and how you could grow such a relationship with your client. Um, and I know we could go on and on and on about it because that was a major case.
Yeah.
And we were talking about it here in Mississippi. Nobody could figure out who the sniper was for so long. And then
I
finally
still
we
don't think we
found out.
figured it out, but they killed John Allen Muhammad. And that's how I
Oh,
speak to
wow.
that. Yeah, that case, in my opinion, was replete with reasonable doubt. And the story still hasn't been told. And everything you see on TV, you read about, if it doesn't have my name in it, they don't have the story, because I'm the only person in the whole wide world who actually
Oh,
got
wow.
with him, who talked to him, who got to know him, who really got into the evidence from his point of view, not from the state's point of view, but from one of the things that he was saying. So there were a lot of inconsistencies that I've seen for myself, a lot of information that was just false. And we go on and on about that, but I'm working on a book.
Yeah.
I've been working on a book for now.
That was my next question. Like,
13
hey, when are
years.
you gonna tell the story?
Shit, dude, 13 years. It's
Oh,
called,
wow, that's
it's
something.
called it's called A Jury of Our Fears, and that's the name of it. And so I just, I promised him before he was executed that I would get the book out so that his children would know the story, because his children only know what they read and heard in the media, but they haven't heard from him.
Oh, wow.
And so I feel like I have this information that I want to share with him and the world, obviously, but with him, so they would understand that their father wasn't some monster, that he was really an affable guy, misunderstood, and some of his decisions, really weren't 100%. But nonetheless, in terms of being a serial killer, I believe that if he had an opportunity to present his case in a manner that would allow all of the evidence to get out that was relevant, I think that perhaps the outcome, if it wouldn't have been different, there definitely would have been more information to create a greater dispute than what we all understood it to be. So it's my job now to make sure that other side gets out, and I pray and I'll get it done.
Absolutely, and may he rest in peace. And you used the word misunderstood, and I want to shift gears right here, because Freddie Gray happened in, was it 2015?
I believe so.
And I was listening as you spoke on the video, and you were talking on TED Talks, and you were saying how you made a post on Facebook, and it didn't go that far, but I listened past that point, and you made the comment about making sure that the protesters had someone who could represent them. And I think you went as far as to say that, you weren't there to judge if they were right or wrong.
Right.
You just wanted them to be treated fairly.
Exactly.
And some of them may have been, if I'm quoting you properly, you said misguided in their emotions. And so, and with that being said, we can come across as misunderstood. Talk about, why did you feel the need, warrior lawyer, to get involved in that fight?
Because we all have to get involved in these good fights. We all have a responsibility, especially when we are equipped with certain skills, certain experience, and being involved in certain professions, particularly a lawyer. You see all this pain, despair going on in your city. You understand, as a Black male lawyer, you understand the origin of this pain and this despair. You cannot be a spectator when you possess these types of skills that in and of themselves is a privilege, and just watch these things occur and not do anything about it. You understand, you might not have gone out there yourself to destroy a police car, but you understand how it feels to want to do something like that.
Exactly.
Because you have a better sense of control over yourself. You're not going to do it. But these young people, and they are always the ones who really facilitate protests. These young people let you get it straight. Now, should he go to jail for the rest of his life because an emotionally charged situation occurred, such as Freddie Gray, that turned the city upside down and was burning it down to the ground? And I say absolutely not. I don't think he should serve any jail time, to be honest with you. He was protesting and it went too far, just like these people down at the January 6th Capitol. For what they did and for what these young people did in Baltimore City, there's no comparison. No comparison. They tried to upset our democracy and they got little and a slap on the wrist. So, you know, when I see these things, and you know, if it was us, they would have shot us all and dumped our bodies in the reflection pool right there outside of the Capitol, between the Capitol and the monument, so that others
on mainstream media.
Yep.
On
so
mainstream
others can
media.
see what happens when you take on the federal government in an insurrection. But these young people in Baltimore City, there's a lot of pent up frustration, a lot of pent up anger. We had this organization in the Baltimore City Police Department called the Gun Trace Task Force. Really nasty people doing really nasty things, robbing people, taking their clothes from them, pointing them out as snitches, and then they get killed. I mean, all kinds of stuff. It's just a very corrupt organization that is the Baltimore City Police Department. So all that anger, that rage, that emotion was just was a powder keg ready to explode, and that's exactly what happened. So these young people needed help, and I was there to help them.
You know, you said the youth, man. The young people are the ones who led the civil rights movement and stood out there and said, "Hey, we're gonna fight a good fight. We're gonna make sure that people hear us. Grandma, you stay at home. We got this." You know,
going out
and I think
you're right. You're
soldiers, you know, and so there's an age, and I cannot think of what the age is, but you got where people will take a risk, and the youth are usually the ones who will step up and actually take a risk because they're like, "Hey, what we got to lose?"
It's like, I'm not my grandfather. I ain't my father. It's a different.
And they will let you know.
Yeah.
Now, also, and you're no stranger to major cases, Corrine Gaines. Can you give us an update on what's going on with that? What happened?
We're still fighting for the 5-year-old son. They still haven't paid him a dime of what they owe him as a result of he being shot by Officer Royce Ruby of the Baltimore County Police Department. And I always say his name because, you know, we can remember Corrine Gaines, but we need to also take note of the killers. And Royce Ruby is a straight up killer. Corrine Gaines was actually his second kill.
Can you give a backdrop of who Corrine Gaines is for those who
Corrine Gaines,
not remember?
Yes, she was a 23-year-old mother of two. And she was shot and killed in her own apartment. Two Baltimore County police officers were trying to serve a failure to appear arrest warrant, a bench warrant, because she missed her court date. There was a standoff because she didn't believe that the warrant was valid. And she also didn't believe the officers had, you know, constitutional right to kick in her door when they didn't even know whether or not she was home. And so she protested, and that was her means of protesting. And yes, she did have a shotgun, but she didn't point it at anybody, as the officers said during their testimony. They retreated from her home. They called SWAT. SWAT came in. And after 6 hours, I believe Royce Ruby became frustrated that she wouldn't surrender. And when she turned her back to prepare a peanut butter and jelly sandwich for her 5-year-old son, Royce Ruby shot her in the back. And about 30 seconds after shooting her in the back, he ambushes her apartment and shoots her 3 more times, sending mass. He also shoots her 5-year-old son at the time. The bullet was lodged in his face, and in addition to that, a fragment of the bullet blew his elbow off. And Ruby's testimony was, he said that when he fired his shot, he knew that her son was close by. He said he was aiming for her head.
Goodness.
In the back. And so the jury understood the gravity of the situation and understood the wrongfulness of it, and they returned a verdict of $38 million. And ever since then, we've been trying to. A portion of the case did settle, And that was the portion of the case that I represented Corinne Gaines and her mother and her and her daughter, Corinne Gaines' daughter, and the estate. And that portion of the case, we received 5.7 of that $6 million. We ended up settling that case for $3 million because there were statutory caps on our damages. And so if we didn't settle that case, the maximum we could get, even if the judge was being as generous to us as he wanted to be, would have been 1.1 million. We were able to settle 3 times that much. And so we did more than just use the law. We went the political route. We put pressure on the county executive to settle that case, because we knew that if we try to do it through the courts, it's just a losing battle. We're not going to get as much. But it was a political year. The county executive was thinking about running for governor. And so we just brought all this stuff up. Like, look, you won your election to be county executive by 17 votes. That means the African-American community put you over the hump. I said, you can, because you can look across any room and find 17 people, or 17 African-Americans, especially in Baltimore County. So you not paying what you owe. Like we're not negotiating pre-trial. We had a full trial. We had a verdict. Very rarely do these cases go to trial to which and a verdict is rendered. This is one of the few cases that actually went to trial. A verdict is actually rendered to the tune of $30-some million. You don't get that in any state. They settle. You either settle before court. So
you consider that a victory?
Yeah, definitely. Because again, we got 3 times the amount that the law would have allowed. So politically, you can whatever you can get, but the law says you're only entitled to 1.1 million, and we got 3 million. So yeah, we did.
Now, and going the political route, let me ask you. Earlier that day, because there's a video out there where she's speaking directly to the police. She was pulled over. Was that the same day?
The same day. No.
But she had an encounter with law enforcement.
Yes, a very bad encounter. And in fact, that day she had a miscarriage because they roughed her up on that day, according to her.
Wow.
Her what's the word, angst or whatever it was, her opinion of the police was very low. And so that second encounter, she just dug in her heels. And she would have eventually have come out, but she wasn't ready to come out when they were ready to take her out. Yeah. And so they ended up taking her out. And that's unfortunate. Especially and I tell you what, if they had shot her at any other time throughout that day, no one would have said anything about it. But they waited until she started preparing food for her son to shoot her in the back. And that was just cruel. It's just cruel.
Now, you say you went the political route, so they were actually tried in a court of public opinion as well.
That's exactly what I did.
People looked at your client, and said, oh, well, she did this and she had this and she had that. But you had the upper hand knowing that it was a political year. This was the season for everything, and the majority rules, and the majority of the people are African American. Is that correct?
They're not the majority, but they hold a nice little voting block there. And this is a woman, and African American women, they vote. And they can't go around shooting and killing African American women and a jury finding finding you liable and you saying you're not gonna pay it. So I just went with that, and it worked. I mean, because it takes more than lawyers. That's what I learned. That you got to engage everybody, the activist community, the faith-based community, all of the civil rights organizations, and that's what I did. I just brought everybody to the table, and
which was strategic. It was very strategic.
Yeah, and I did a little what we call social media campaign because people, they kind of thought that it's her fault she had this gun, blah 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 blah. Nah, she didn't get shot because she had a gun. She was shot making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich for her son.
Come on now, and I saw you would sit in your car, you would go live. You would sit in your car, you would go live. and I'm tuning in, trying to see what he's saying, trying to see what the warrior lawyer doing
Yeah,
now, you know. And
yes.
so you did a great job of keeping us updated, man. You were going viral every time you open the camera up. I'm like,
Man, I need to do
man,
that
this
again.
is awesome. This boy is a fighter for real.
You know,
But
that's
yeah, and
that's
then
funny because I just, sometimes stuff gets into me. I'm like, I'm gonna do this publicly because I just feel like I'm gonna win. You know what I mean? And one
hey,
time I did it and we didn't do so well, but the
mhm,
fight was just so intense. Like
and
when
worth
we
it.
get in there, we get in there, we throw down, we leave it all in that courtroom. I'm going in. I'm
So
like,
listen.
and the lawyers who I was trying the case with, they were the same way. And so
Oh wow.
so even if I do uh, a broadcast of the case,
Mhm.
if I'm talking about it, we in there, we scrumping in there.
Listen, listen.
Right.
And so, with that being said, you're supposed to fight fervently for your client, And I was told, because I'm studying for the LSAT,
There
but
you
I'm
go.
told that I'm too emotional. I have so much passion,
Hey,
about what I believe, but
that's
I
right.
believe it takes passion.
Absolutely. And don't let them take
Mhm.
that from, don't let them, that's your superpower. If that's what it is, if that's what they notice, if that's what they notice about you, that's your
Mhm.
superpower. So you
Oh
take that
wow.
and you use your power for good as opposed
Oh
to evil.
wow.
You use that power for good.
Absolutely.
People want passion,
Man,
especially down there in Mississippi. Y'all
say
born
that
off,
again.
y'all born and raised off passion.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
What?
He said, if you
And
from the SIP, don't act like you from DC.
come
Don't
on
act like
now.
you from Vermont. Be
That's
from the
right.
SIP.
Be who you
When I
are.
when I
That's right.
go to Prince George's County, it's a suburb of Washington, D.C. That's where I grew up. I got my little accent.
Okay.
It ain't going nowhere. I'm gonna
Uh-huh.
talk with the accent. I'm
Ain't
from Maryland.
it ain't it
I'm
ain't.
from Maryland, okay? I'm from Maryland, Fort Washington, Maryland, Prince George's County. Yep, that's where I'm from.
Mhm.
It's gonna come through. You know what I mean? I ain't
Yeah,
hiding. I ain't ashamed of it because them people
absolutely.
down there, when I'm in front of them, they understand me. And when they hear my accent,
Absolutely.
they say he one of us, and they know
That's
it's.
right.
I got that on. You want to
That's
be the
awesome.
people who decide the case. You want to have something in common with them. They hear
That's
your
right.
accent, they know you
Relate.
from there.
That's right. That's right. And you know, um, speaking of Mississippi, let's talk a little bit about this flag. Why
Yeah.
did you feel it necessary to join with the honorable, I like to say,
Yes. Yes.
Judge Carlos Moore
Yes.
on this case? And for those who don't know, we're sitting here, we're talking to the warrior lawyer, okay, and he's just telling us, giving us a background about some of the cases he has tried, and um, we want to talk now about why you came to Mississippi and why we no longer have that Confederate flag, but we have a new flag. Why was that important to come and stand with uh, Judge Carlos Moore against the Confederate flag? And I think we were the last state to let it go.
I know you were. Well,
Because South Carolina, Bamberg was there, I think, going and
right,
fighting against that one.
right.
And so it was them, and then it was us.
Justin
So
Bamberg
why?
is a representative and attorney in South Carolina. I got
Hmm.
great respect for both of these individuals. But Carlos, to turn the heat up so high in Mississippi.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so I don't live in Mississippi, and everything I
Hmm.
heard about Mississippi from Emmett
Yeah.
Till on down is like,
Hmm.
woo wee, that's some heavy stuff. Carlos Moore, Honorable Judge Carlos Moore,
Oh yeah.
has the guts of a burglar. Okay,
Listen,
he has
I
the guts
saw.
of a burglar because it take a lot of cojones to do that. So when he invited me to be a part of it, I would
Uh-huh.
never say no to anything like that. That's what I love that. I don't run from controversy. I run to it. So I'm like, okay. He said, well,
Man.
we're gonna have armed guards. I'm like, damn, we got armed guards. My mother was
Yeah.
like, you going down there? You because I
You
ain't never
sure you
been
going to
to Mississippi.
Mississippi,
Yeah,
baby?
I was like,
You
you
sure
go
you
down
gonna
there.
go down to Mississippi?
Yeah,
You
I'm
might not
down there.
come back.
Look, I'm down there 50 years old. She told me like,
Oh,
nah,
baby.
I'm going. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And I never
Yeah.
let anybody dictate to me what types of cases I
Uh-huh.
take in my career or what I do. So I'm going. So and nah, that was the greatest honor that I that's one of the greatest honors that I had in my entire career, just being a part of that case, just being a part of it. You know, that meant the world to me, and I'll forever.
And that was my first time meeting you guys, man. And I followed Carlos, Judge Carlos Moore, from the beginning when he was talking about the flag. And so I brought him in on my radio show, and I was like, okay, tell everybody why, you know, because I'm hearing in the street you fighting a flag.
Yeah.
Tell them the importance of it. And so he broke this thing down. It's like he was sleeping, eating, breathing, everything
He
about
was.
what yes.
He was.
Yes.
Literally.
Oh yeah.
We both were.
Everything that just put him at ease about that flag. And you know, I don't think he gets enough credit for what he did. I think, you know, because the governor should have invited him to come to the governor's mansion and honor him as well, because he was the most successful one out of the others in the past who had brought up
because y'all wouldn't even vote to take it down. Like Sippy wouldn't even vote to take it down. I think the governor. It wasn't even a referendum. I think the governor just decided. Because y'all didn't vote to take it down. Y'all voted to keep it up, right?
They put it on the ballot. Every time they put it on the ballot, we would vote for it. Every time, and so they would just let the people decide. And so I guess Carlos said, "I'm tired of this. Listen, I'm gonna call in some cajon, some of the goons from here, and everywhere."
That was a major honor for me, and that's one of the things I'll always remember in my career. If I ever sit back and pin my career, that's going in it. I'll probably be chapter 5, somewhere in the middle. 5, 6, and 7. It'll be in the middle. It's gonna be in there.
Way down in Mississippi. Man, it was truly an honor to actually meet you, and to know that you are easily accessible. You're a very humble guy, you know. But you are a warrior, nonetheless.
I'm gonna give it to you. When I'm gonna give it to you.
Listen, and before we go, because people don't know, they think you just hardcore. I want to show them your TikTok video that you did, and
for the Deltas, Happy Founders Day. Bam.
Say that again.
Happy Founders Day for the Deltas.
Oh yeah, it is the Deltas Founders Day.
Stop playing.
But I'm a Zeta, so we
Delta for Delta SIP. Okay, Delta Mississippi.
Yeah, for Delta SIP. Okay. Yeah, Mississippi Delta. Yeah.
Oh, I got you.
And so and I've been greeting them and telling the sisters, hey, happy Founders Day or whatever. You know. But yeah, I played Zeta, Phi Beta, Howard, you know, we in the building, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, man. Martin Luther King Day coming up.
Yeah, we're supposed to be protesting then. If it doesn't snow. Yeah.
Protesting.
Judge Moore's coming into town for down in DC for voting rights.
Oh, listen, let me ask you something. Why is it that people are so upset? Because all of the people in the Democratic Party, and I won't say certain person's name from Georgia, but why are they so upset? Because this one particular person didn't show up when the president went to Georgia.
Hey, look, I don't know, but I know the president.
This voting rights thing.
He hasn't done enough. And we're not waiting. We don't want the platitudes. We don't want the, you know, the nice speeches. We want some action. And Kamala too. Your girl,
okay.
Our girl, our girl.
AKA our girl.
You know, but we want some action. We done seen the little shiny things, the little baubles and everything. We got that with Obama, but that's all we got. So we need something to happen here. So, you know, I'm not on the Biden train, and he's going to have a tough time. The Democrats are going to have a tough time this session if they don't get themselves together with the African American community. Because if you don't motivate us, if you don't get us up and running, we're going to stay home. We're not going to mess with you.
And that's a voice. That's a voice as well. Not saying anything.
Right.
Okay. Let me play this TikTok, and then I'm gonna let you
crazy
go. TikTok. Yes, I thought that thing. And for people who don't know TikTok, it's you know, it can be what you want it to be. But most people have fun with it.
Mhm.
And so you're going to get a chance to see the Warrior Lawyer have some fun. I work from home, y'all. So y'all know this. If you watch Delta Sip, give me a sec. Got a 3-year-old.
Okay.
Where the weed at? I ain't got no weed. Shut the fuck. Shut. Ah, say, no. Oh shit. Say it again. Say something else. Little mother.
Oh my goodness.
Where the weed at? I ain't got no weed. Shut the fuck. Shut. Ah, say, no. Oh shit. Say it again. Say something else. Little mother.
I like that one too, to be honest with you.
That is, I'm like, bro, you did that. You did that.
Hey, look, Clifton Powell. It was sent to Clifton Powell, who played Pinky in Friday, and that's where the audio comes from. He sent me an LOL, and that meant the world to me.
Listen.
He said LOL on it.
That is awesome. Let me tell you something. Not only that, you have your blue check mark now.
Mm-hmm.
So talk a little bit about joining the crew, because I'm still waiting to get my blue check mark.
Well,
but that's a big deal.
The big deal is Instagram. The Facebook.
But I thought they were one and the same.
I don't think so. I think Instagram, you got to have more followers, more this, more that. You just got to be more better. And I haven't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
I get that blue check on Instagram, then I would have subscribed.
Oh yeah.
I probably need some help to do that one.
Listen, I think that was a big deal, man. You need to get over there on your Facebook page and say, hey, y'all follow me over to Instagram right quick. Let's get these numbers up.
Yeah, you're right about that.
Huh?
I'm gonna do some more. Do some more content. That's what I'm gonna do. That thing took me 5 hours to do because I had to keep doing it, redoing it.
I never would have known.
It took me a long time just to get the acting right.
I never would have known because I do videos. Right?
15 seconds took me 5 hours, but the more I do it, the better I'll get it.
That's good. You sound like the lead attorney on YouTube. I don't know if you know the lead attorney. His name is Robert Barnes out of Atlanta. No. But the lead attorney talks about how it would take him 5 hours to just do 20 minutes or something like that. And now he's up and going and he's like the man now, But anyway.
I gotta get some of that. I think when I get off the phone with you, I'm gonna try to make me some content, but I got on this nice suit.
I know. Man, you look real serious.
Yeah. That's right. Objection.
And so, do you ever let your hair down though?
That's an objection, dude.
With authority.
Yeah. Object.
Listen, is it all acting? It's not all acting because you're serious.
What, in law? Yes. Law comes from the corazon. That's the corazon right there. That's that passion. That's what I'm telling you. Don't let nobody steal it from you.
Okay.
That comes straight from the corazon. It ain't scripted. It's your command of the English language, your eloquence and your passion. Yeah.
Listen, where did you go HBCU?
Morgan State University, Morgan State, Baltimore, Maryland. That's how I ended up in Baltimore. I got stuck. I was supposed to go back to Prince County, but I got stuck in Baltimore. But Baltimore's been very good to me.
Oh, wow. So that's home.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Baltimore's home.
Home is home, but Baltimore has been good to me.
Okay. Hey, let's keep it that way. So listen. So where you pledged Kappa, right?
Right, back in '88.
Could have been a Sigma, but with the wiggly legs. The first frat to use it.
We love the Sigmas. Now let me tell you something about the Sigmas. Q's call on Kappas, I gotta say that Kappas call on Sigmas and Sigmas come. When
Oh, wow.
I needed help from Al Sharpton to some of the local Sigmas in Baltimore,
Mhm.
when I needed help, they came.
Oh,
Q's, they always
wow.
getting in trouble, or their family members getting in trouble. You know how fucked up they are. So
Hey,
you
hey,
know,
but
they're gonna call me when they get in trouble, and I appreciate that. I appreciate
mhm.
that. So I don't want that to mess
But
up this. But the
you know,
Sigmas,
when
they some good brothers. They some good
they
brothers.
are, they
Mhm.
are some good brothers, man.
Yes, they
And
are.
I'm just doing research after looking at a TikTok. I cannot remember the name of the page, but man, I'm finding out more and more Sigmas. Al Sharpton.
Yeah, Bill Clinton,
I'm like,
President Clinton is a damn.
yeah. Now I knew that. You
That blew
know,
me
the
away. I didn't know
man.
Clinton was a Sigma. It's like what?
Oh yeah.
Like
Oh
what are you
yeah.
coming
And
to? They got a
and
president
he'll
in there.
tell you. We got a president. Y'all couldn't even get Obama to sign. Okay, I'll be on the real. Y'all,
Well,
hilarious.
that's okay.
So listen, your undergraduate years, how did that help to shape who you are? Was this your first time away from home?
Well, yeah, but my mother said that when she dropped me off in college, she said she knew I was never coming back, and she was right. I was never going back home. And so, but yeah, it did shape me. It helped me understand who I was as an individual. It helped me understand that it's not enough to go out here and get a job and get you a house, a white picket fence, and a car and a family. You got to help others. You have to help others achieve. You got to bring somebody else with you. If you can own a business, create a business where you can hire other people, that's what you need to do. And that's what Morgan instilled in us, entrepreneurship. But that's why I
Mm-hmm.
really appreciate my university. And like Hogwarts University.
Listen, let me ask you something. Let me ask you something. Being from the South, and I'm gonna let you go on after this.
What's that?
You know, I live in the Bible Belt.
Mm-hmm.
Where does Jesus stand in your life, Mr. Lawyer? Because
Number
they
one.
say lawyers,
Number one.
don't think along the same lines as other people now.
Who told you that?
I'm telling you.
I tell you, ain't none of this would be possible without God. None of it.
Mm-hmm.
My
Yeah.
mother's from Florence, South Carolina, and my father's from Savannah, Georgia. So I guess
Mm-hmm.
I'm in Maryland is beneath the Mason-Dixon line, if you want
It is.
to make that known. But
Yeah,
nonetheless,
yeah.
it's all up in
But
there.
y'all not dirty, dirty.
Churches back in the woods down in Savannah County with the Georgia pines and the church, made of wood, back in the woods, sitting on some bricks, and they in there cranking in there. They got the organ going, they got drums going, and I've been to all that. And I still love
At,
that stuff. That old
and,
time gospel music. I love all that stuff.
at the end of the day, because I saw you made a post about your legacy. What what would you like? Because in that presentation that you did for TED Talks, you made mention of Frederick Douglass. But what would you like people to remember about you?
Man, that I tried to help somebody. I tried to make a difference. I wanted to leave the world better than how I found it. I want to leave a legacy behind that my son can be proud of. That when he gets older, because he don't understand anything now, he's 7, but when he gets older, he can stick out his chest like, yeah, that was my dad. You know what I mean? That's what I want. If only he said, yeah, that's my dad. I'm cool
You
with
did
it.
something.
Nobody else
Yeah.
don't have to say nothing. And don't come home in no blue and white after pledging Sigma either, because I'm knock his ass out. You better be a captain, Don't mess with me.
I'm gonna have a talk with him, and shout out to him. But how do you
I
pronounce
like the
his name?
Sigmas now, but don't be trying to take my family now.
Your legacy,
Take
yeah,
my family.
yeah. How do you say his name?
Jansen,
I, Jackson.
Jansen, Jansen, Jansen Warrior
Jackson.
Gordon.
Yeah, man.
That's my man.
So if he gives his stamp of approval, boom, that's my daddy.
That's all I need. That's all I
That
need.
speaks volumes.
Mhm.
Hey, so look, one more thing. They just came out with the Emmett Till women. I can't remember how it goes. Women who made a difference or something like that. Let me ask you. because it took some type of strength for Emmett Till's mother
Yeah.
to leave Chicago and come down here to
Mhm.
Mississippi. And it's like 2 counties are over from where I live, 2 or 3 counties over.
Really?
And to say, no, I'm going down there
Yeah.
and I need some answers. You know, that girl has some superpower, man.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
then to tell Jed and Ebony, come on, take pictures. Because
mhm.
if I'm not mistaken, I think it was Ebony
So it's
took
Jet.
those pictures.
Was it Jet?
Jet, was it Jet?
I think it was
I
Jet.
can't remember which one is the oldest.
Okay. It
I
don't
want to
matter.
say
It was
Jet or
one of
Ebony.
them.
It's one of them.
It was one of them.
But they took those pictures.
Mm-hmm.
This was before social media, man.
Mm-hmm.
And we're still talking about her baby to this day, to this very day. And I did not know that the woman who um, said he did all of this, whistled at her and everything,
Mm-hmm.
lived right here in the city where my husband is from, right here where we live.
Wow.
But she was the governor's aunt,
Really?
Governor Phil Bryant, and he's from my county, Sunflower County.
Oh, Brian.
Phil Bryant. He was our governor right before Tate Reeves, man. And so, oh yeah,
Isn't that the
it's
one we
deeply
sued?
rooted.
Isn't that the one we sued? Wasn't
I
that
think
Brian?
so.
Yeah.
I believe so. Yep. It's all connected. And you know, it's something that, you know, she had to leave Chicago, come here and take a stand, and people are still talking about it to this day. And some people like to say that's black girl magic and all of this kind of stuff, but I like to say the Lord gave that girl some type of supernatural strength,
Yeah.
and that was her only baby. You
Yeah.
know, can you imagine you sending your
Nah,
baby
I
away?
only got one. Yeah. So yeah, and yeah, the courage is enormous that it took to
I
do.
don't know what I would have done. Something is wrong with me, and so I probably
You know,
oh
God gives us
Lord,
what we need when we need it, and
he does,
he
he
certainly
does.
did that for her. But not to take anything away from it, that was complete bravery compared to nothing else. And I don't know
You
if you've seen
killed this
anything like it
baby.
since. Hmm?
Nah,
Just
but
like
you know, people they're still hanging people in the state of Mississippi.
what?
They yes, yes, they are still hanging people in the state of Mississippi, and it's just sad. But I like to tell people we live in the great state of Mississippi. When you meet somebody from Mississippi, just know we down.
That's true.
We
That's
know what
true. Like,
we know what's going on.
yeah, you all definitely, definitely. Everybody.
What do you like about Mississippi?
I
What
like.
you like
You know
about
what? You know
Mississippi?
what? I want to come back.
You
I want to
should.
experience Mississippi. When I was there for the brief time that I was there, as I said, that was the first time I was ever there. I'd seen so
Oh
much
wow.
and so little at the
Mm-hmm.
same time. Like you could see
Mm-hmm.
the fields, you could see the city, and it just the
Mm-hmm.
people were very nice. Obviously,
Mm-hmm.
the people were very
Very,
nice,
very.
and I wanted to know more. Even the white folks, I know it was put on, but they were even nice for the moment.
Oh, they are.
But
They
but
are.
in order for you all to be doing so well, it must be something. It must be a way to make it if that's what you decide that that's what you're going to do. And I know we all have to deal with racism, and quite frankly,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not prepared to deal with the level of racism that you all are, and that's why God left me here in Maryland in the DMV.
Right. Yeah. And so
Because y'all,
we can better handle it. And I tell
yeah,
people, let me tell you this. I worked for ESPN in Bristol, Connecticut, not in Atlanta or Chicago. I worked at the headquarters. And one thing I say about leaving Mississippi, because that was foreign to me, being away from home for the first time, you know, and
mm,
coming straight from black, man, in Mississippi, you know where you stand. You know, we know how to
yeah,
get along and talk and make it work.
mm,
But when I got outside of Mississippi and I went to the East Coast, man, I experienced racism, and I was like, "Are you serious?" When I went to the post office, there was this one girl. She would not serve me period.
What?
And it did something to me. And I said, that's one thing I can appreciate about where I'm from. If they don't like you, you're gonna know it.
Mm.
But going somewhere else, I'm thinking like, Jesus,
Like I just popped up.
I thought we left that. I thought we lost that down south. But it's everywhere and
Yeah.
it's systemic. It's
Mhm.
but I can say this: we got some good white people here in Mississippi. I don't care what nobody says.
I believe it. I believe it. I believe it. I
We
believe it.
do.
The ones that you're not a threat to. That probably that old money down there. That old
Listen.
money's good.
It's time to shut the show down. It's time to shut the show down.
That old money
But,
probably treat you good.
Well, I have a mad respect for Mississippi. I love Mississippi. One thing about it, I'm an entrepreneur, and I believe in making it work right here where I am. It's okay to go visit. I want to take my kids one day to witness ESPN and see the campus, is what they call it. But I love Mississippi, man. I love Mississippi.
Beautiful. It's a beautiful state. And
It is nice and warm in the winter.
The winter's like 60 degrees.
It's been switching up on us, man. We got like a bipolar kind of winter thing going on right now.
Little bipolar lately.
Oh yeah. But man, thank you so much for your time, and I don't want to hold you up, but it's been awesome speaking with you. This is my first time actually interviewing you. Had the opportunity to interview Justin Bamberg when I actually went to Bamberg. And that was maybe 4 or 5 years ago. So
you went to Bamberg to do his interview, and you put me on streamer.
Listen.
You came to see him.
Listen,
man.
It's a long story. Listen.
It's because I ain't light skinned. It's colorism. It's colorism.
It's a dark skinned brother issue, right? No. It's not that. It's a. I can tell you behind the scene when we go to the backstage. It just so happened to be in his neck of the woods.
He's a great attorney, good friend, and he's got a few videos out too. You've seen his videos, right?
He's on TikTok.
Yeah, I think he did a real good country. He did a country music video. I don't know if it was
He
TikTok.
loves country music. Don't touch my truck.
Yeah. That's it.
Yes.
That's exactly it. Yeah.
And
I was like, man, that was pretty good. I was like, damn. He make you pay attention. At first, I never paid attention.
I need to get into that entertainment. Yeah. And so, with that being said, Bamberg, he's younger than you guys, right?
Yeah.
He's younger than me.
Well, I'm the oldest cat. I'm 52.
He's younger than me.
He's younger than you?
I'm 41. I'm 41. Justin a baby compared to me.
Y'all still got potato salad in your drawers.
Hey, listen. We grown. We grown in our own right. Okay.
Yeah.
But it was awesome meeting you guys. So I went to Bamberg and interviewed Bamberg. I had my friend girl to set it up, and we were in his old office. So I don't know what the new one looks like, but I can tell you this. When I went in Bamberg's office, that magazine, that little small Mississippi magazine,
that's
was
right,
up there on his shelf. I'm like, this young man is representing Mississippi, man.
There you go.
And that made me proud. I was like, man, we grassroots, but we had respect right there.
Magazines everywhere. It's in Baltimore too.
Listen, I'm gonna have to come to Baltimore.
Yes.
But, I don't understand the dynamics of Baltimore, man. Yeah.
What you mean?
Yeah.
What you
like, mean? The riots, how we get, down
7 years ago. Now we dealing with violence.
Exactly.
Like everybody else though. Mississippi too.
Small town Mississippi is, we're catching it. Hey, let me ask you something about the Young Dog case, man.
Was that in Mississippi?
No, that's right across the state line. Let me ask, Tennessee. And now, would you represent?
Yeah.
the people who actually are guilty or said to be
No,
guilty
nobody's been found guilty.
are said to be the killers.
Charged. Look,
Yeah.
you can guarantee that you may never commit a crime, but you cannot guarantee that you'll never be charged with one. So you need a brother like me to step in for you. And I always say, my cases are always bigger than the person sitting next to me at the trial table. I defend the Constitution. I make sure that the guarantees of the Constitution are honored. You have a right to counsel, adequate counsel at that. You have a right to a fair trial. So I make sure that you get as close to a fair trial as you possibly can. I can't always get you that because the judges sometimes they just be off the hook. Sometimes I think but but nonetheless, I make sure I stand in the gap for the ordinary, everyday citizen. So when you walking down the street with your loved one, the police can't come by and haul you off to jail indefinitely without any probable cause. I make sure that those things don't happen, that we observe our freedom, our liberty, and respect the Bill of Rights. So boom.
You have some officers who want to be the judge, the jury, and everything else.
That's why you need me. You need me.
That's right.
They need me, and I need you too. I need y'all too, because we need each other. Because we got a whole country out here that we need to keep honest. And
man, Young Dolph, them boys that did that, the Young Dolph gonna need somebody to represent them because it from what I understand, it has gotten political.
Political?
Yeah.
Well, see, I don't understand.
This is what came across my desk.
Okay.
From a reliable source from that area.
I'm about to say, who is it, Arthur Kane?
Listen, no. But
how's it though? What's
say that again?
It's just a symptom of the greater problem of violence. Like, how did it become political?
I can't really explain. But the way that it was brought to me is they knew exactly who did what, and they were just giving it some time and all of this, and this came from the department. This came from the people on the inside. Who's saying.
Why would you give it time? I don't even understand that. Anyway.
I don't know. And then, also now, it's talks that someone on the inside is related to this major celebrity who's supposed to have something to do with it, and da-da-da-da-da. So,
who was it, Soulja Boy, or who was it? Yeah, Soulja Boy or something?
Yo Gotti.
Okay.
It's supposed to be Yo Gotti. He's from Memphis.
Okay, but they were saying that a lot of the artists involved in that record company was getting plucked off. I can't even remember. But that's what they said. All these people who wore that chain was getting knocked off. So I don't know what that is.
They never saw the end of that contract or whatever. They couldn't get out of the contract. So it's a lot of people saying they need to look at that label, that company, because from what I understand, the young man didn't need any money. He just needed a distribution deal, and that's what he got. You look like you at the bottom of your cup, brother.
No, well, I got the bottle right here. I was going to re-up on it. It's 9:30.
I am drinking some juice. Okay, everybody.
I'm drinking some. You drinking juice? I'm drinking little Jack Daniels. That's a little Jack Daniels.
You're gonna need
this
an
is my drink
endorsement
though.
from them.
So this is the little Jack Daniels, and then I get some apple cider.
See, you're gonna need an endorsement from Jack Daniels.
So I call it an Apple Jack.
I like that.
So that's what I'm drinking right here. That's my drink. That's the J. Wyndal Gordon Warrior Lawyer drink. Go get you some. It's called an Apple Jack. It's J. Wyndal Gordon drink.
Drink responsibly, people.
There you go. Drink responsibly.
Drink responsibly. So,
don't drink and drive. Drink before you drive. There you go. Yeah, that's it.
Drink after you get where you. Drink after you get where you're going.
Yeah. And make sure you get home safely.
Right. on that Apple Jack. So when is a good time to visit Baltimore, man? I
Well,
want to
they
be
have
fair
this-
about this.
Have you ever been to the CIAA conference?
No.
You went to Howard, even though that's not
No,
CIAA.
I went to Miss. I went to Valleys. Now let me clear this up. The Zetas were started at Howard, but I went to Mississippi Valley State University with Jerry
okay.
Rice
Okay.
and
So y'all used
Coach
to
Cotton.
play Savannah State at homecoming. I remember that.
Really?
Yeah, my parents used because they big time alumni of Savannah.
See, you got to make me look that up.
So they did. They
I
used
bet
to-
Coach Cotton remember.
I think are y'all purple and gold or something?
No, we're green and white.
Green and white.
Purple and gold is Alcorn.
Okay. Y'all used to play them though. I remember that.
Mhm.
But nonetheless, it's HBCU, so you in there.
When is it?
So
when
I'm
is
saying the
conference you said?
CIAA should be in Baltimore, I think, sometime in February, and that would be a good time to come. Because
Oh, it's snow. No, that sounds like snow. That sounds like snow, and flights are being grounded. And no, I'm saying, now let me tell you what I do love. I love the fall when the leaves change. That's what I miss
I
about
got fall in
Connecticut.
Mississippi, don't you?
It came late this year. It came really, really late. But that's what I love about and miss about Connecticut, living in Bristol. That you get to see the leaves change and all of this.
I don't want none of that. I don't want none of it.
What? Pumpkin spice?
Bristol, Connecticut? Mm-mm. I don't want none of that. That don't even sound like fun. That sounds like
It reminds me of Mississippi.
sound like pink people, an invasion, just complete pinkness everywhere.
Listen,
Maybe they got some good
Listen,
lobster. They might have good lobster.
when I was there, Stuart Scott, my last night there, I was like, man, I'm leaving. I can't take this no more. I miss Mississippi. Stuart Scott was on the elevator with me. And, you could take a shower at ESPN because people would get snowed in or whatever. And so I looked up, and you hear his name, Stuart Scott and the other guy, Chris Berman or whatever. I can't remember his name. But anyway, I was on the elevator. I said, this brother smells good.
He smells good.
And so he smelled like he had just taken a fresh out at work, because you can work out at ESPN. It's so much you can do on the campus.
I bet.
And so I looked up. I said, you're taller than what you appear to be on TV. And he just laughed. And I had the camera in my back pocket. And I didn't even think to ask him, let's take a picture.
Who cares?
Nobody was thinking about selfies back then.
Who cares? He worked with him.
I met this man. And
You worked with
listen,
him.
after all of this man was in the. Hey, listen, I would hear his name.
Tell that story to your girlfriends. They might get a kick out of it, but that is it's an unremarkable story to me. Stuart Scott.
It's remarkable to me. Being a girl from Mississippi, and I was the only Mississippi HBCU girl there. I didn't see anybody from Alcorn, Jackson State. Huh?
He went to HBCU?
Who, me?
Stuart Scott.
Oh, I don't know about if he went.
No.
All I know is he was one of the TV personalities at the time. But he died a few years ago, and I was like, oh, man, I remember being on the elevator with him. But why is this such an unremarkable? No, don't tell me.
No, wait a minute, I got
Don't
it mixed up. Stuart Scott. Let me Google him. I'm thinking about somebody else. Did he die of cancer?
Boot down.
Is he the one that died of cancer?
He did. He did, and
Oh,
he had
yeah.
the eye thing. That was my guy. I'm like, I take that was a big deal. That was a big deal.
Rest in heaven. Okay,
Yeah.
you got it.
That brother, he paid his dues in the sports arena, man.
So he was taller than you thought. So he was 5'8", opposed to 5'7".
He's taller than me, so I'm 5'3", so he was tall. Okay, if he's 5'6", that's tall to me. But, so how tall are you, Warrior Lawyer?
I'm 6'2".
Yeah, that's.
You don't remember that?
tall. See, you guys were standing up on the up. Y'all was standing up.
Oh,
I was like, get in the picture. Come on. And I just walked out and I left because I'm like, all right. I'm not, because one thing I'm not is a groupie. So I'm like, all right, these are lawyers. I knew, I'm like, lawyer, I
You're
want
a
to be
media
one. So I'm
person.
like, those, hey,
Media mogul. We know groupies from media moguls. Media mogul
hey,
tell you what to do. They're like, get in the picture. Y'all get together, get closer. So we get this picture. Y'all know how to memorialize things
yeah,
and
man,
package.
that picture was so,
Yes, I still got it. I still got
that
it.
picture is, that's monumental.
Yeah.
I'm like, what I say, gentlemen of justice.
Yeah, I loved it. I loved it. I still got the job. I still got it.
You guys need your own theme song. Oh my God,
I
y'all
really
did that
appreciated
awesome.
everything. That entire
Y'all are
experience
awesome.
was wonderful.
Y'all are awesome. Man.
Carlos,
I
Honorable
wish.
Judge Carlos Moore is awesome. Definitely.
Oh yeah. Oh
Definitely.
yeah, he is.
Definitely.
Man, so thank you so much. I don't want to take up no more of your time. We can talk backstage because I got to tell you about this trip to Bamberg. But I just want to say, tell everybody where they can find you. And go to Instagram too, y'all, because he got to get that blue check mark on Instagram, y'all.
Yeah, please follow me. Come on now. Follow me on Instagram. Okay? Don't bull crap me now. Follow me. Stop playing. Stop playing. I don't like that. Stop playing.
Stop playing.
I'll be on Facebook, J. Wyndal Gordon. You see how my name is spelled. Ain't no E's in it. And ain't no two L's in it. Just one L. Wyndal. You can't remember that. If you can remember the Warrior Lawyer, that's all you need to do. You can Google search that. You'll find me anywhere. Call me.
What does the J stand for? Like Jack and Applejack?
Well, to be honest with you, me and my father share the same first name, but we don't share the same middle name. So I want to pay homage to him and be my own person at the same time. So that's where the J. Wyndal comes from. My mother calls me J. Wyndal, actually. My brothers call me out. Friends and family call me J. Wyndal. Yeah, but they don't know that they're paying homage to my father at the same time. But yeah, that's what it is.
Oh wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yep. Well, we have come to the end of this show. And man, when I tell you, it's such an honor to have the Warrior Lawyer himself here. I mean, your interview was longer than Justin's interview, to be honest.
Well, I ain't even gonna compare. There's no comparison. There's no comparison.
The Honorable Judge Carlos Moore several times. I mean, he's right here in Mississippi.
Right.
Man, y'all pray much for me. Because I said, man, give me 3 years. I'm gonna be one of y'all.
Come on through. Like the water is nice. Come on in. Like now is the time. We need some warriors out here. We need some warrior lawyers out here because a lot of fights. And I'm chewing. We ain't gonna be able to do this all about it. A lot of fights going on. And we need some fresh blood.
I want to do more of the entertainment. I want some entertainment law.
Still.
But I can still fight too.
I'm not. Do the entertainment. Whatever you want. You know what I mean? Whatever you want. Because, believe it or not, I would like to see more entertainers involved in the civil rights struggle. Maybe you could influence them. Like, look, y'all need to use your platform to fight for some of these issues. And that's
when I get that blue check mark, I'll probably be able to influence some people. But until then, y'all, we grassroots and we hanging in here and we boots on the ground and we making sure y'all get that message. Okay. Until then, thank you so much for tuning in. And we are signing out. Sip slow. Talk what you know.
All right.